How are you
Hey,
guys doing today?
All right, Ricky.
yeah, doing
Good. Nice to
good.
chat with you guys again. I want to talk to you guys about the first season, so I'm excited to chat back again. Um, Joe, first to you. We're closing in on almost 300 episodes of you playing David. What kind of drives you to continue to bring this character to life?
Wow, that's a good question. I think I learned early on, it's fairly early on, that to try to incorporate a lot of oneself into a character that you may be doing for an extended period of time. It was an advice I got from Don Belisario years ago. I wound up doing first time I really did a series. It was called First Monday. Didn't last very long, but the one piece of advice he gave me was, because when we talked about it from the beginning, and he gave me a choice. He says, "Who do you want to play?" I knew there was he had written a character, obviously, but it was like, what's his name? What's his background? What do you think?" And I said, "Well, what do you think?" He says, "I would say this." He says, "On a TV series, on like a movie or a play, you may go on with this thing. God willing, things successful. You may be doing this for a long time. So you might want to pick something where you can kind of relate to many things in yourself, in your personal life." So obviously, I wasn't going to go for being like a Swedish sea captain son or something like that, you know. So I think that kind of caused me to kind of, all right, well, let's make him an Italian American and let's incorporate a lot of the things that perhaps Joe Mantegna is and possibly has done and may do in his life. So I think that's part of it. I think there's somewhat of a connection between me and David Rossi for in many different aspects, and it's made that I think a little easier, especially having done enough myself, 15 years now. As it turned out, as Don, you know, predicted might happen. Uh, this is next to Fat Tony on The Simpsons. It's my longest running role, so it's given me that opportunity to bring a lot of myself into it. I think that's helped.
That's awesome. Zach, obviously you're kind of settling into Elias for this second season. How much easier was it for you to prepare going into season two versus season one?
I mean, it was about as easy, I would say, but one thing where I'm very fortunate and is a lot of fun is season two is a whole different side of Voight. Last season was more kind of showing his human side and him around his family and trying to protect them from the monster that he kind of knows that he is inside. And this season, he's now caught in a cage and just trying to manipulate his way out. And so, it's a lot of now I finally get to interact with the BAU and the original cast members, and most of those interactions is just me fucking with them and trying to get under their skin. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad it's happening this season now that I know everyone well, because it's not that I'm bringing anything personal to it, but it's easier to kind of needle people when you know them rather than you've just met them.
Yeah, exactly. And Joe, to you, the dynamic between David and Ellis kind of grows even more with him being that voice in your head. How do you kind of prepare for those scenes while you're dealing with your, co-star while also dealing with Zach over here in your head?
Well, I mean, I think I'm of the school of acting. You just you do it. You know what I mean? If it's on the page, it's on the stage. My feeling is. So in other words, if they put this the scenario there and the framework is there, then it's just my job to kind of interpret that. So I mean, I've always had great faith in our writing staff and where they take it. And so my feeling is uh, we all have some degree of imagination, obviously, throughout our lives, even as children. So, I mean, it's not a big stretch to be able to say, especially if you've experienced something that could be close to, if not directly, being called PTSD, which in this case I would say it fits. Um, it's you just play that, and you played it as it's indicated, and it's considering what my character has been through with this guy, it's it didn't take much to tap into that.
Yeah, I was like playing it for so long, you've been through just about everything a person can been through with this character. Um, Zach, the complexity of Elias is deeply profound and even somewhat disturbing. How do you kind of decompress and step out of that character offset?
I've always been the kind of actor that I do the scene when they say action and I stop when they say cut. I'm not very method. I just try to be very present when I'm doing it. Luckily for me too, I haven't had to actually, the darkest thing I had to do was hold a gun to my wife's head, who was my actual wife. So that was a little bit weird last season. But other than that, you haven't really seen Voight do much, except be a father and a husband, and now just, be annoying.
Yeah, I kind of love the chess games that Elias is bringing to season two. It's a whole lot of fun. This is my final one. The season kicks off with Penelope's birthday. Joe, first to you, which character on the show do you think would bring the best birthday present?
Oh wow, that's a good one. Um, yeah, that's a really good one because it depends how you describe best, I suppose, too. You know what I mean? She would be, Penelope would be best to probably answer what that would be. Uh, in this particular case, maybe RJ's character would be likely the one for her to consider maybe the best. But then again, Adam's character as well. Uh, so yeah, that's a tough. I don't know who would be considered the best. Uh, I got a feeling it wouldn't be Rossi necessarily.
Zach, same question to you.
I mean, I feel of everyone in the BAU, Penelope would probably be the best gift giver. If memory serves, she actually threw her own party. It was very Garcia. Outside of that, that's so funny, Joe. I actually would have said you might have given the best gift because you're like the one who gets people the most. You're the most
Yeah, that's true.
connected.
I can afford to give her the best, most
Well, there's that
expensive gift. I
too.
think there's that, but I think but knowing Penelope, there's much more to her than that. So
Guys, thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you, Ricky.